Welcome back to another episode of Bros Park. Today we have another episode of Sakamoto, and you know what? Lucky for you, it's a double banger, double episode today. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Colin, and I'm always joined by
Yours truly, Jeff. And dude, how's everyone going? We are finally caught up with Sakamoto. We're not on the Netflix release anymore, dude.
No, we are not on the Netflix release. We've got 2 episodes so that we are catching up to where everybody else is watching it, so that you're never behind while you're up to date with us. So we're starting off kind of where we finished off last week, but 2 episodes ago for most of you. We're on the beach. We just finished the crash test, and everybody's kind of survived and wondering what the next test is, really.
Yeah, and surprisingly, not so surprising, the film guy lived. It turns out he probably didn't even have a parachute, just landed straight on the water or on the beach, right? But his camera's busted, so he's like, there's no point to living now.
Yeah, dude, the parachute guy for me, or sorry, not the parachute guy, the filming guy for me, I so dearly hope he's a recurring character, because even him on the beach being just a drama queen, being like, I can't film my movie anymore, there's no reason to live. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I feel like all the assassins and hitmen are just complete weirdos, they're pretty quirky. But we cut back to like everyone in the shore, and of course freaking Kill Baby comes up. He's like, yo guys, I found a bullet.
Yeah, it just happened to fall next to a bullet. And you know what? Again, the instructors are just the most useless human beings. They're like, yeah, we're gonna start the 3rd test, but before we do, we got these 3 new homies showing up. We got, what are their names? Torimaru?
Yeah, the Sakamoto stan.
Yeah, the Sakamoto fan. And then we also have Kaji, who's like,
yeah, the guy in the weird like winter cap thing.
yeah, he's like, he looks like he's ready for the snow, which is weird. And then we don't really catch the last guy's name. He just wears these cool ass glasses, and that's really it.
True. And like, the funny thing is, the instructor's like, crap, too many people died in that last test. We gotta make sure nobody else dies.
Yeah, so they just play a little playground school game of, what is it, tail tag? Basically,
the next exam is tail tag.
Yeah. So they get split up into groups by their bullets having basically their tails wrapped up in the bullets. So they split up into groups of 3. The main groups that we're kind of following are Shin, Mafuyu, and Kill Baby. They're on Team White, I believe. And then
no, they got Kaji, the silent guy. But then
yes,
I think Sakamoto, Akira, and Kill Baby on the same team. Yeah. That's the peak team right there, dude.
Yeah, they're on red. And then, from there, basically all the other special recommendation ones, the 3 arrivals, are on different teams. And we have that one genius guy who's like, yes, this must be part of the special Navy American SEALs team training. Like, he's trying to reason out everything. It's like, these guys have no idea what they're doing. All right.
And the examiner's like, exactly. But then like Shin reasons his mind's like, no, nah.
We just couldn't have people die. And so this test starts and they go running through a forest. I think they have 2 days to survive or something, 48 hours.
Yeah, 2 days. It kind of reminds you of the whole Freeran mage exam.
Yeah, 100%. And you basically need to, if your tail gets taken, you're dead. That being said, they said you can use any weapons possible. So realistically, you could also just kill people, seemingly.
Yeah, that's exactly what Torimaru is doing. You kind of see more about her, how she loves Sakamoto, and like she chases down these 2 like random jobbers, and she just cuts off their arms. Oh, here's the tail. Thanks, guys, and then leaves. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, and this episode, the first one that we're talking about, really focuses on Torimaru, and she basically sees Shin and Mafuyu's team, who's Team White, and they're like, you're so lucky, you're Sakamoto's color, I need that. So now she's absolutely hounding them. And man, throughout this episode, Kaji's like, hey, maybe we should And then they just talk over him as if like he's not speaking. I was like, dude, let him listen to this guy. He's like, yeah, there's a river ahead. Yeah, there's this and this. And they just don't give a shit. Mafuyu and Shin don't care.
I find that so funny. But we learn later on in the second episode that like he's just very shy around new people. That's why he doesn't speak so loudly. I'm like, dude, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, he has an internal monologue of like, I'll let them speak to me first, and then like we'll be friends after. It's like, dude, make the first move, all right? But we have Torimaru, and she's chasing them down, and she's got a weird weapon. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It's kind of like Kaiju number 8. Goddamn, like axe gun.
Yeah, and there's no clip, and she never runs out of ammo somehow, and I'm just gonna ignore that for now. But running through the forest, she's just swanging that thing, and Shin is absolutely just reading her mind as he does. But it's quite an elongated fight that during the whole time she's talking about how she loves Sakamoto, and she saw him when she was a little girl, and he taught her emotions and how to kill and brightened her world and how to talk to people, and all the like everything is revolved around Sakamoto basically being her god.
The cool thing is, I think this is a good parallel to Shin, because she's saying all this to Shin because she thinks Shin is kind of like a Sakamoto fan as well, because he did that whole like neck crack the way that Sakamoto does.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, Shin has like basically lived and worked with Sakamoto, so he knows how Sakamoto is, because she thinks that he's this emotionless, cold-hearted killer. But like we've been seeing through Shin that like, he's like this kind-hearted man. Like even though like they make no money at the goddamn store, he doesn't fire them. There's just so much warmth in Sakamoto's heart that like it is a complete contrast to what Torimaru thinks of Sakamoto. But then this kind of like breaks her mind. She's like, nope, you're wrong.
Yeah, there's no way you understand Sakamoto more than I do. And we even see that, not that Shin sees it, but we even see that ourselves, because Shin at the beginning is like, hey, no, we actually, like, I'm going my own way with my team. You're my enemy now. If you see us, come full force, because I'm coming full force. And Sakamoto's like, okay, understood. And then they run into the forest, and Sakamoto's like depressed. He's like, oh no, all the good times I had with Shin, like fucking training him, and now he wants to go his own way.
I didn't think he was depressed. I thought he was like he was sad because he was like crying joyfully that like, you know, Shin is growing up.
Oh, you thought it was like proud tears? Like, okay, he's finally
actually,
leaving
now I think about it, they are sad because at the same time when that's happening, Sakamoto and them are like just chilling by the water eating fish.
Yep.
Like, yeah, eating helps you helps when you're sad. So I guess he was sad.
Yeah, the perfect remedy for depression is food. It's like, okay, yeah. But we see all that. Torimaru's kind of lost her mind. She's like, no, you're not the number one fan, I am. And they have this super long fight. It's pretty interesting. I mean, they fight in the water, they, you know, have a fight on a floating log, but Shin is forced to use his, you know, precognition powers.
Ultra instinct.
And it, you know, it lasts longer than I expected it to. I expected it to like fall short.
Yeah, to be honest, it felt like he was way past his 5-minute or 10-minute time limit. But like even with Ultra Instinct, he couldn't take her out. So he was like, oh man, like what would Sakamoto do? But then like when he's thinking internally, he's like, wait a second, I shouldn't be thinking like what Sakamoto is. If I'm gonna stand beside him as a partner, I should be like working my way through this. So like you see him kind of like thinking, and then what he does is actually he starts kicking and punching Torimaru and blowing her back till the point that like she reaches a cliff, and like he actually like propels her past the cliff and, like into the water. And he used that by like listening to the fish because he sensed that there was a waterfall nearby. Yeah,
he had to play to his strengths, which is great to see, because it's instead of, you know, what would Himmel do, we're finally out of what would Sakamoto do, and he's kind of playing to his own body type and his own strengths, which is sick. But gets knocked off. Torimaru's like in the waterfall, and he's about to leave, and then he just hears her thoughts being like, Sakamoto, they can't breathe. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? Okay, whatever. He like takes his jacket off, dives in, and she's like trying to rescue her little Sakamoto doll that she's made from under a rock, and she's like drowning trying to save it.
Yeah, dude, I was like, dude, what's with all these like characters that can't swim, but it turns out she voluntarily drowned herself.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe the waterfall was trapping her like the fish, but like no, she's just fucking killing herself for the sake of the fucking doll. But Shin saves her, pulls her up, and basically we see the shot, and he's kind of standing next to Sakamoto in Torimaru's mind, and it kind of shows that he's able to stand beside him now, which is nice. That's good to see.
Yeah, and Torimaru was like, oh my god, like this guy is kind of like Sakamoto. She's like, you know what? You can be his #1 fan now. And Shin's like, screw that. Stop trying to include me in all this crap. She's like, dude, we can increase the whole like, fandom and everything. And Shin's like, you know what? To thank me, just give me your tail. But then we see actually that like we see a slow-mo Shinaya right beside her and gives her a fucking like upper decker punch right there, and then like it sends her flying, spinning into a cliff.
Yeah, and Shania is the third final student that is there that had the cool glasses. And while we have this going on the other end of the teams, Sakamoto's squad has basically just, like Jeffrey said, posted up with fish and is camping and all these things. And Kill Baby basically falls for a trap that really genius guy pulls through, says, hey, you guys should run too. Runs, he hits a tripwire, and they all just get netted down into the ground. And then from there, it's just now a shoot at them. Sakamoto blocks it with his fucking apron. Okay.
Yeah, I felt like that was a little bit like longer than expected. So I was like, Jesus, like, and the guy who's shooting them, like, dude, he keeps missing because like Akira slips out of the net because thin, and like the guy's just shooting and like not hitting her for some reason.
Yeah, and like, man, she slips out, and that's fine, whatever. We can believe that the apron blocks, we can believe that. And then they come down and they say, oh, let's kill them while they're down, it's easier to take the tails off the dead bodies. Great. And Akira kind of makes her decision. She says, I don't want to leave people that I care about. I would rather become an assassin than leave the ones to die. And she fucking like instantly swoops by the genius guy, punctures his like carotid artery, crushes the trachea, and then is about to kill the other two as Sakamoto kind of like finally rips the net off, and he stops her from killing these other people.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because she like legit flips a switch and goes full killer mode, full assassin mode. I was like, damn. I guess like all that incompetence that we saw from her, that was more of like her being shy and like she's like, I don't want to kill people. But when it comes to like, saving others, she will like go for the kill there. And like that kind of like triggers Sakamoto's like, oh my god, those movements. What's your full name? And she said that she's like Akira, and that actually triggers Sakamoto to be like, that is actually the third student back in the JCC days where it's like Sakamoto, Nagamo, and Akao, where like which her first name is like Reno.
Yep.
So those were the three like standout students at the time, and like apparently she's better than Nagamo and Sakamoto.
She's at least better at shooting. Like, we don't know because obviously Nagamo has his like disguise ability and stuff like that, but we see flashbacks and we find out through the conversation with Sakamoto and Akira that Akira is Reno's niece, and the reason that Akira has even signed up for this is trying to find Reno. But obviously speaking, Sakamoto hasn't seen Reno either, like all these things, so I'm sure they'll probably go on a mission to find her or find out what happened to her, whatever it is. But in the flashback, she says, yeah, don't you guys just see when you're wanting to kill somebody this path that if you follow, your enemy will die? And they were like, no, like what the fuck? Like,
so that's probably some like that's like prodigy level shit right there, because like she sees something that like people can't see, and I think Akira has like adopted that too.
Yeah, she says to Sakamoto, "Is like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I was following the path that I saw in front of me," and that's what triggered Sakamoto to be like, "Yeah, what's your family name?" Right? So, she seems nuts, which is sick. That's great. Love that. Fantastic development with Reno and Akira, but that's kind of also the last we really see of that group in the next episode.
Yeah, we flip back to like Shin and their group, and we see, you know, Shinaya basically fucks up Toramaru, right? But the thing is, as soon as we see that, we actually see like Gaku and, you know, Slur's gang. Gaku just takes off like a VR headset. He's like, oh my god, like this is actually like pretty crazy, right? So it turns out like the goggles that Shinaya is wearing is actually like a VR headset that Gaku is controlling him with, which is like, this is like remote control Hitman.
Yeah, Gaku even said, he's like, oh, I didn't know that Hitman could work remote. I was like, dude, like fucking chill out, all right? So he even sits there and we see Shania, and Shania's like doing these weird hand gestures, like just grabbing and then like putting it here and chewing, and everyone's in that scenario. Mafuyu and Jin are like, what the like, what is happening, right? And then we cut to Gaku.
You see Gaku just like eating like a sandwich. He's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, dude, like what is going on with this guy? And then
the cool thing that Gaku mentions is that there's a little lag in his movement. So technically, Shinara is a nerfed version of Gaku.
Yeah,
like, this isn't Gaku full strength.
Yeah, and the whole thing that is going on with the VR situation is that Slur's gang is trying to recruit new students to Slur's group, and basically using this VR set Shania to test them, and if they're good enough, they'll try to like indoctrinate them. That's kind of the whole reason this is going on.
Yep. You gotta have Slur in there somehow, because he mentioned like the youth are the one that can change society. And like he's just quoting fucking movies at this point.
Yeah, dude. Why not? He's a homie, and he's supposedly met Gaku when he was really young. And dude, I always forget.
Deerhead.
Deerhead. I fucking forget his name, but he met him when he was a teenager. So he's like, yeah, we got to get more youth in here.
Yeah, and the next scenes you see are fucking crazy, because you see basically when Gaku's like, what the heck, what's going on? Turns out that like the instructors have come in and like kind of
restrained,
immobilized, restrained Shinaya. So he's like, I can't move and everything. One of the instructors basically pins him on the ground and is like, yo man, like you gotta fight with like love and shit.
Yeah, love and discipline. And then Shinaya, or we'll just say Gaku at this point, Gaku grabs him by the fucking head, smashes him into the ground, drags his face. At this point, he says, oh, I found a weapon. He like hits the other instructors with him. The main instructor says, take him down or shoot. A bullet comes from the forest. He puts the fucking instructor's head up. Headshot through the skull, which we actually like, we see the bullet hole. Like, I thought the plane was gory. And this episode just took it to the next level, because he then takes the ragdolled body, throws it into the woods to hit the sniper like on the hill hundreds of yards away.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy what happens, dude. And then the fucking chick instructor, she actually has like a skip rope with weapons on it. It's a pretty cool weapon.
That's what I thought. I was like, why jump rope?
Yeah, she tries hitting him with it, but then he grabs her like leg and then starts spinning her, like, you know, freaking Attack on Titan, like the female Titan.
That's what I was thinking.
Like a ragdoll, and like the fucking voice actress killed it. You could just see it going.
Yeah, like I don't know if they just gave her free reign or they scripted her to do that, but holy shit, she was fucking sending that, dude.
Yeah, and then he just throws her across the water into a hill, and like the back of her hits the wall, and then just blood everywhere. I'm like, oh god, okay, she's dead.
Yep. And it was like, okay, the final instructor says, you know what, like, you three, talking about Kill Baby, Mafuyu, and Shin, get out of here while you're young. You still have someone to live for. Like, I'll fight this guy. They run, except for Shin, who stands his ground and says, I can't see a future where I get stronger if I don't, win the battles in front of me. And at that point, he tries to go Ultra Instinct. Time limit. He can't do it. His heart almost stops, like all that good stuff. And fucking Gaku's about to finish him off until we see the actual Gaku perspective in the warehouse that they're in. And he like gets crumpled into the ground, like while defending from above.
That shit was so cool. Even Deerhead's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, holy shit. That was a sick scene, actually. I loved that.
Yeah, you see Toromaru and Mafuyu go for like a axe swing / kick, like on like above him, so like sends him down into the ground. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then at that point we finally, I guess like they said like, oh, what, we're not gonna let you show us up, and Gaku is, hey, we finally found some fucking challengers, like let's go.
And that's basically the end of the episode, aside from the outro, where it just shows fucking like Sakamoto and his gang just camping, just chilling, eating,
just grilling fish and salting it, and found mushrooms, and like, dude, like they're just having the time of it. They built a log cabin.
Like everybody's like fighting for their lives. They're like, oh, okay, let's just eat. Okay, we'll just chill.
Which, you know what? That's true Sakamoto fashion after they got out of that trap. So that's fine. I'm okay with that.
They got the easy route, man.
Yeah, but you know what? That was the 2 episodes, and now we're all caught up with the rest of you. So let us know down below in the comments what you thought of this episode and the prior one, because we're all, double banger today. And
hell yeah, leave
a like. Check out all the other series that we are recapping almost every single day of the week, and the podcast that comes out weekly. But until next time, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.
Peace, guys.